This will be a grace-filled process. This will be a process of learning, of growing. This will be a process of stretching, yet we will keep going. We may hear some no's and we'll process that and we'll get up and we'll keep going. This process, this journey is going to work out in my favor. I can have fun and I'm going to have fun. I'm going to meet some amazing people. I'm going to display my best self. I'm going to have a great senior year. My student is going to have a great senior year. My student is going to have a successful school year. We are being intentional about what we desire and we're voicing it out loud. We have to talk right. We have to speak life. And I encourage you to continue to do that. Welcome to this live. I am your host, Dr. Candice Johnson. I am a college admission and financial aid expert and coach. And today is officially the start of college application season. Woo! My pom-pom. Yes, I have a pom-pom. I should probably get it. I'm going to get it. Welcome in as I'm grabbing my pom-pom. I want you to jump in the comments and say hello. I really am grabbing it because I had a thought to grab it and I didn't, but I'm grabbing it now. Yay! Welcome to this, I'll call it a college chat, but I'm talking about the 6 habits that successful students and families have and can have and should have, and what I've seen over the past 20 years in working with students in the college admission and financial aid process. So welcome. Thank you for being here. I was thinking yesterday, like, should I go live? And then today I was like, you know what? I'm going to just jump out and do it. I'm so glad to be here with you. Do me a favor, like I said, please jump in the comments and say hello and let me know where you're watching from. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, a great place, and wherever you are is amazing as well. And please share this video because if not you, but maybe this is for you, but I believe there's someone else that is connected to you that needs to hear this goodness about what successful students and families do, the habits they have as they're navigating the college admission and financial aid process. And like I shared, today marks the official start to this college application season. I was going to say seniors. So seniors and even those who aren't seniors, perhaps you're considered a traditional, non-traditional student. You're interested in going back to school or going to school, continuing into post-secondary education. And you're like, okay, am I doing this? Well, I pray that what I share today will be helpful to you as you are making that decision. Yes, yes, yes. So I am sharing 6 habits, and I actually have a bonus, right? I have a bonus, but I'm going to share some 6 habits that I have observed over the past 20 years that successful families, they do these things, and they have gained great success in the college admission and financial aid process. And of course, you get to define what success means. Maybe success for you and your student means that your student gets into their first choice, they hear a yes. Maybe success means we have everything paid for and we didn't have to take out any loans, or we didn't have to take out as much in loans that we thought. Or maybe success is that your student just feels confident about themselves so they can do this. So you get to define. I'm not going to define it for you. And maybe you have an idea. I hope you have a picture, a vision in mind of how you want this process to go, whether you are the student or you are the student support person. But I know for me, oh my goodness, for me and mine, I know for me, my heart is that students and families go from feeling overwhelmed to feeling confident and prepared. that families, parents, moms, dads, aunties, uncles gain clarity, that they move from confusion to clear about next steps, that students feel that grace, that they know and they discover if they don't know already who they are and the goodness that lives on the inside of them. And they tap into that as they navigate this senior year and at the same time making these decisions about their next steps after senior year. Or perhaps they're a junior or a sophomore or freshman in college. Not only is it college application season, but it's back to school season. So I believe what I share can be helpful to whoever you are and wherever you fall in that category. So let's get started. If you're ready for me to share the first habit that I've seen in families that are successful in this process, I'd love for you to put in the comments, ready. And if you're watching the replay, please put hashtag replay and you can comment as well. And I love to go back and respond to your comments. So it's okay if you're not watching this live. It is okay. But welcome to my Facebook. Welcome to my YouTube family. I am so glad you're here, whether you're live or watching the replay. So I know you're ready. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So number one, some habits, one of the first habits that I've observed in helping students and families the past 20 years with the college admission and financial aid process is they show up. They show up. They show up to the parent night. They show up to the college fair. They show up to the workshop. They show up in my email. They show up in my DM. They show up and they also show out. They show up. They're there. They may not know everything. They may have questions, but whatever is offered at their school in terms of learning more about college, whatever is offered in their community about learning about college admission or financial aid, they're there. They make time, they invest in themselves by showing up physically, whether that's virtually, whether that is in person. They show up. They don't know everything, but they're there. They're eager to learn. They're listening. That is a great habit to have no matter what. And I thought, as I was thinking about this and I started to reflect on my own journey with college admission, I remember, and it's just crazy how things come full circle. I remember my senior year, and as I mentioned, I live here in Louisville, Kentucky. And so during my high school years, or I'll just say senior year, I remember hearing about a financial aid workshop that was being hosted at several high schools throughout my community. And so I had the desire to go to college, and I was starting to think about it. I'm so grateful because both of my parents have their master's degrees. So and they were teachers at the time. They're retired now, enjoying their retirement life. And they've been retired, so been having a good time. They had a good time when they were working as well. So really, they're doing the same thing that they always did. They're just not having to go into a school building, in a regular schedule like that. But so education was huge. It was important in my home. And so I knew I was going to college and had the desire to go. And so I remember seeing a flyer, probably got it from my counselor, about this workshop. And I was like, I'm going. And I had my license at the time. I didn't have my own car. So I'm sure it was probably my mom and I, because I remember the workshop was hosted at the high school that she worked at. We showed up. And I remember, again, it wasn't my mom telling me about the workshop. I saw it and I knew I had to be there because the goal that I had to go to college, I knew going to that workshop was going to help me fulfill that goal, fulfill that dream. It was going to help me in hearing what I needed to hear to take some next steps. So showing up has been so important to me, and I've seen the same thing in the students and families that I've met. Well, obviously they showed up because I was hosting the workshop, or another colleague was hosting the workshop, or a college was hosting the workshop, and I was blessed to be invited, and the student and families were there. So that's the first thing I want to share, that show up. Show up. That's number one. Number two, a second habit that I have observed in successful families and students is, and these are not in any order. I want to say that as I'm looking at my list. Number two, they ask questions no matter what. They ask questions no matter what. And I actually shared this when I did the College Confidence Live workshop this past Thursday, that sometimes you don't know all the questions to ask because it may be brand new, or maybe, and this is something that I'm still working through. Someone raised my hand. Sometimes you're afraid to ask questions because you don't want to look like you don't know, but we got to get over that. Right? We've got to get over that because in order to get the answers that we need and the next step that we need, we have to ask questions. And it's okay to even say, you know what? I don't know exactly the question to ask, or maybe I'm having trouble formulating it in my mind, but I know what I want. So maybe I'll add to number two. You ask questions no matter what, or you share what you want no matter what, even if you're not sure how to ask the question. Okay, can someone put that in the comments that you ask questions or you share what you want, what you desire, no matter what? I've seen that happen time and time again, where after I have completed a workshop, I have a family come up to me and they introduce themselves. And I'm so giddy because I'm grateful because I love to meet and connect. And so I'm like, hi, and I want to be friendly because I understand it's a big deal to come up to someone after something is over and introduce themselves. So I want to make the interaction as warm and friendly as possible. So a smile goes a long way. And so as I'm listening and making eye contact with a student and their parent or their grandparent, they may not have a question, but they're sharing their name. And then I ask them a question. Well, what high school do you go to? Or what grade are you in? If they're having trouble formulating the words, or maybe they're asking the question and I kind of know where they're headed, so I'm able to help them along, but I'm still listening, still giving grace. Right? So successful students and families, they ask questions, they share what they want, no matter what. You bite the bullet. I don't know if you all have heard that expression, and you ask anyway. You ask anyway, no matter what. Even if you're the only person raising your hand, you've been in that setting, right? Where no one else is asking a question and you ask your question. And have you all had this happen where you ask your question and then the room just kind of transforms and people are like, it's almost like everyone takes a collective breath and people feel at ease to ask their question. Because maybe they were afraid because they looked around and nobody else raised their hand, but then someone did. So that gave everyone else permission to ask their question. So you never know. You being bold enough to ask your question, whether it's in front of the whole group or one-on-one, gives someone else permission to feel like, okay, it's okay for me to ask my question too. And actually the question that you had was a question I had on my mind. So thank you, because I got my answer. So ask your question about college, about financial aid, about the process, about what you should do next, no matter what. That's what I've seen successful students and families do. That was number two. So number three, another habit that I've seen that just blesses me is that students and families connect with their person. They find their person, they find their team, they connect. And really, that's a part of number one, showing up. That's a part of number two, asking questions no matter what. They find their person that's going to be their guide, the person that they can, if they're kind of nervous about asking in front of the whole crowd, they can go to this mentor, this teacher, this counselor, this coach, and say, this is what I heard. What do you think about this? Or this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? Or just the safe space that this person has created, they connect with them. That's what I've seen a successful student and family do during this process. Welcome to this college chat. I'm sharing like 6 successful habits that I've seen families and students embody in the college admission and financial aid process. And as we are kicking off college application season for this school year, for the class of 2027, high school class of 2027, or any student really that's starting back to school or wanting to start school for the first time, I believe these habits are going to be so important for you and critical for you as you step into this process. So I'm so, so glad you're here. And I just shared habit number 3, that students connect with their person, their go-to, the person's going to help spur them along, the person that's going to coach them up, the person that's going to say, have you thought about this? The person that will help answer their question or say, you know what, I'm not sure, but let me contact so and so. The person that's going to follow up with that student and say, did you do XYZ? I've seen students find their person, the person that they can resonate with the most. That is the 3rd habit. And if you're watching this, shout out your person in the comments. Who is the person that you can call on during this process? Maybe it is your school counselor, maybe it is your math teacher. Shout them out in the comments and tell them thank you for being your person. My person, oh my goodness, I'll name 2 people. Miss Cindy Lampton. Oh, and I know I'm going to see her. I always see her every school year because she is a former school counselor, but for a while she retired and she went to work part-time as a school counselor. So I wonder if she's still working part-time with JCPS, because when I was working as an outreach counselor with Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority, and I was going to different schools here in the Louisville, Kentucky area, I would see her and I was like, Miss Lampton, remember I would be in your office? And she was like, yes, you were my girl. And then she started to name some other of my classmates and how we always were in her office. She was my person senior year. So thank you, Miss Lampton, for being a guide, for being a help as I was navigating this process. Finley just had a birthday. Oh my goodness. And I just, I don't even know if I commented, but I smiled at her picture because I was talking about her today's Saturday. I was talking about her this past Thursday on the College Confidence Live workshop that I had. So shout out to Finley Baird. She was my admissions counselor. She worked for Western Kentucky University, and I met her during my senior year of high school. And she came to visit and she stuck beside me, and I surely stuck beside her. So Finley, thank you. I would not be where I am today without your help and your guidance during my college admission and financial aid process. So that was number 3. Successful students and families, one of the habits that they have is they connect with their person, their coach, their team, their counselor, that person that's going to help be the guide for them during the process. Ready for number 4? Number 4, the 4th habit that I've observed in students and families is that they state their goals. They state their goals, which assumes that they know their goals. Successful students and families state their goals. I remember meeting a beautiful young lady. It was her senior year of high school, and I had a table at the YMCA Black Achievers Program here in Louisville, Kentucky. And I believe it was their kickoff session to the school year. And I was at my table. I worked at the time for Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority, KIA for short. So I had materials set up. I had our display. I'm sure I had on, my, I'm closing my eyes because I'm visualizing. I had on my name tag and I was standing behind the table, eager to talk to students. And this beautiful young lady came up and said, I want to go to college debt free. You all know that got me riled up. So I came from around the table and had a great conversation with this young lady. And this was probably 2017 or 2018, trying to remember my years, but we are still connected to this day. I remembered her enthusiasm. I remember how she boldly came up to me and introduced herself and said, I want to go to college debt free. And you all know what happened? She did. And she graduated from college early. I believe she finished in either 3 or 3.5 years. And we are connected to this day. We went a couple of years without contact. But when I say things come back around and we are connected, and she serves as such a beautiful help to me, and she would say, I'm a beautiful help to her. That was memorable. So much so I'm talking about her right now. But she stated her goals, and then we were able to talk through how she could go to college debt free. And she took what I said and took what other people said, and she implemented what she heard. She did the thing, and she graduated college debt free. Successful students and families state their goals and they stand on it. Come on, somebody, it's getting good right here. Please jump in the comments and let me know. Are you stating your goals? Are you stating your goals out loud? Right? Okay, be mindful of who you share it with. But I knew that young lady felt comfortable sharing it with the lady who worked for the organization that administered financial aid, that was about helping students graduate from college with no or low minimal debt. But she said, you know what? I'm not going to settle for the low debt. I'm going to settle for the no. I'm going to have no debt. She's like, I'm not settling. And I said, let's go. Let's go. I like it when students state their goals. And I'm like, okay, I know the direction that you're headed. So here's how I can help. Here's how I can get in on the flow that you're already going. And then to be on this side of it and see, yes, she did that. She did that. And so if my dear mentee little sister cousin is watching, I'm proud of you. Don't forget what you stated back then. Don't forget what you stated back then. And if you're not watching, I'm going to send you a text and remind you of what you stated to me back then. Because what you said then is still true now. Okay, amen. All righty. So if you're ready for me to share the fifth habit, again, welcome to this college chat. I just decided yesterday I'm going to go live because today, August 1st, happy August. Welcome to a new month. Welcome to a new beginning, right? Welcome to the beautiful, audacious August. It's a royal, it's a regal month for you. It's a great month. It's a great start to the school year for you. I'm sharing, I said, yesterday, like, am I going live? I was going back and forth, and I said, you know what? I'm going live to talk about this and celebrate the kickoff to college application season. It's here. So what does that mean? Well, the Common App, which is a website where students can apply to a bunch of different colleges, I believe 20 at one time, which is a lot. But the application, that website is live now for our seniors in high school. And then if you go on college websites, their admission application is live. So technically you can apply today. I'm not saying apply today, but I'll talk about that before we end this live. But I wanted to talk about, before you apply, here are some successful habits, right? And even if you're not a senior yet, these are habits to embody now so that when your time comes, when your August 1st comes, right, you'll be ready. Your mindset will be like, I got this. I'm confident. I'm clear. I know my next step. All right. So I think we're ready for the fifth habit. Number 5 is students and families are organized. Somebody say organized in the chat. Thank you guys for watching. Somebody put organized in the chat. I've already shared 4 habits. The 5th habit is organization, is being organized. And what does that look like? Now, that doesn't look like you have to do it like I did with Kyla, with the spreadsheet and color coded, but maybe you want to geek out like that. Then go, by all means, go ahead. But maybe for your student is they're big on their phone, right? Okay. They have a note, a shared note with you. Mom, dad, auntie, uncle, granny, team iPhone, right? Or Android, I don't know how y'all do the notes. Hopefully you can share a note, or Google. Okay, yeah, Google. You can share a Google Doc, and you put all the things in that one document, and you all both are able to look at that. Or maybe student, you may be navigating this process without a parent or guardian, but you have that one friend where you all can hold each other accountable. So you all can have a shared note or whatever on TikTok, whatever platform you all are both on, and you're writing down your next steps. You're writing down you're typing out your deadlines. You're sending voice memos. You have a really long text thread. Whatever you need to do to stay organized. But I'm a big fan in writing it down, right? Or typing it out. Take what you have in your mind and put it on paper. Take the vision that you're seeing in your mind and put it on paper so you can be organized. That's what you do to be successful, because you writing it down programs your brain to say, okay, this is what I'm thinking. I see it on paper now. This is what I'm going to do. You literally can write out your own next step just by taking what's in your mind and typing it out. Maybe you do better at a voice note. Your voice notes can transcribe for you. Copy, paste, boom, you're locked in. Okay. There's no excuse. I feel it. There's no excuse to not be organized. There are so many resources and tools, right? And now that I'm saying that, maybe I do a session about tools that are useful in this process. What do you all think about that? Would that be helpful? And it's not going to be overwhelming, because sometimes it's like, okay, there's so many tools. And of course we have AI now, what's been around, but a lot of people we're using AI every day. It's here. So how can I use it as a resource, not the source, but a resource to help me stay organized? It's something that I am continuing to learn about and growing in my own business. How can I use it as a resource? So do you all think that would be something that would be helpful? If so, put that in the comments, like a live or a workshop on resources, tools to use for the college admission and financial aid process. If you all would find that helpful, let me know in the comments. Okay. So number 5, the 5th habit that I've seen in students and families is organization, staying organized, being organized, and using tools to help with that process. One of my counselor friends, she talked about that last year, like using a scholarship tracker, and how that was so helpful for her and her son. And then he could see, he would mark when he applied, he had marked, here's what I still need. I still need this recommendation letter for this, so she was able to go in and see and then help spur him along in that process, because they both were clear on what else was needed when he was applying for scholarships. So good. So good. Yes. So I said there were 6. I initially was saying 5, but there's 6. And then I have a bonus to share. Okay. So let me go over the first ones that I shared. Number 1, the first habit that I've seen in students and families in terms of being successful is they show up. They show up. Number 2, when they show up to the college fair, they show up to the workshop, they show up in their counselor's office, they show up in an email, right? They show up. Number 2, families and students in this process, they ask questions or share what they want no matter what. Even if they can't get all the words out, they ask the question no matter what. No matter the hesitancy, no matter the nervousness, they go up after the event is over and they ask their question or they introduce themselves. So good. Number 3 habit that I've seen that have allowed students and families to be successful in this process is that they connect with their person. They connect with their team. And maybe their team consists of 3 people. Maybe their team is 2. Or maybe it is their one person, their go-to, that can help spur them along in this process. Their coach, that expert, that counselor, that friend, that teacher. Number 4, they state their goals. And really that's related to number 2, right? Stating their goals no matter what. And then the 5th habit that I've observed in successful students and families is they stay organized. Somebody say organized, okay? And then number 6, I want to share Number 6, this is a good one. This is good. So, successful students and families, they understand financial aid before filling out the application. They understand. Not that they're an expert and they can give a whole, 50-point presentation, but they understand it. They understand the different types of financial aid. They understand the application process. They know enough before applying. They know the pros and cons. They know to ask the question before, right? They understand it before applying. And to me, that just all of these are related to one another because as I'm talking that out, it goes back to showing up at that financial aid night, showing up in that email to ask a question, showing up online and watching a video. There are so many, and I really, federal student aid through our Department of Education, the United States Department of Education, has some really cool videos that are animated, that are like quick, that break down the financial aid process in such a simple way. And I love that. And I am learning how, and it's a process, to communicate in simple terms because there's a lot of information that we can find that can be confusing. But tap into those resources that are simple. So that's one way that you can understand the financial aid process before applying is finding those quick videos that will give you a quick bite of what you need. So you're like, oh, okay, now I'm ready to apply. Amen, everybody. So those are the 6 habits. So I'll go over them again. And if you are watching this or even watching the replay, I want you to type out these habits in the comments. It's first of all, it's going to help others as they come to this video. And then also just help you as you think about these. And whether your student is a senior, whether you're the student that wants to go to school for the first time or go back to school, these are habits really that stretch beyond or can go beyond the admissions and financial aid process. But I'm focusing in on this process right now, especially because today, August 1st, 2026, kicks off college application season. So the 6 habits are, number 1, they show up, and I'll just share them quickly. Successful students and families show up. They ask questions no matter what. They connect with their person or their team. They state their goals. They stay organized, and they understand financial aid before applying. Those are the habits that I've witnessed in families throughout serving students and families for the past 20 years. OMG, it's been good with more to grow. And then I want to share this bonus. And this bonus came from a student that I worked with. And I think I've shared this before, and I will share it forever because it blessed me so much. And even it became a principle that I embody, and not just in the process with my daughter, but I share it with students, and I think about it a lot in my own life as I'm navigating entrepreneurship with Vision Speak Consulting and just other things that we're doing over here. We're cooking up. So I was working as an outreach counselor for KHEA, Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority. So I met a lot of students and families. And it blesses my heart because I was so grateful to be of help in that season to students and families. And it gets me emotional because it was then and in that position that I learned more about my purpose. I learned more about the giftings that I had and how they were a blessing to other people. I learned about ministry, and that ministry doesn't just happen and was never designed. God never designed for us to only do ministry in the 4 walls of a building. No, he's not confined to a building. He lives in us. And so God was showing me in that season of my life at KHEA that he had given me this platform to be able to bless others and really let my light shine before men that they may see my good works and glorify him. He was using this vehicle of higher education, college access, financial aid, for him to be known and for people to know who they are and the goodness that lived on the inside of them. And he was using me. So I connected with a young lady and she desired to go. She had applied for the University of Cincinnati and got in. So we were excited. We were celebrating that. She lived here in Louisville, Kentucky. And I remember I may have met her senior year, I think senior year, her high school here. And we kept in touch. She would email me and just let me know her progress. And I remember her emailing me in the summertime. It'd be crazy. I can't go back to that email because I wish I could though, because it was through Kia. But it was in August. And here we are in August, right? And she was sharing that she was, getting ready to move into her dorm, but she was still, oh, this is blessing me right now, $3,000 short in, that's what she owed on her account. And so she emailed me, asking if I knew about any scholarships, any resources. And so I emailed her back and I said, I don't know of any scholarship right now that are open. The ones that I know that are going to be open, they're going to be for your next school year. So definitely apply to those, right? Like, because you may have a need for next school year, but I at the time didn't know of any that were open that she would receive like right then and there. So I said, you know what? Email your admissions counselor and ask if he or she knows of any additional scholarship funds from the University of Cincinnati that you would be eligible for. And she did that. And I chuckled because she copied me on the message. And I was like, well, they really want you to copy me on the message because I kind of just, I guess I had a little anxiety about that. Like, they're going to come back to Candice like, girl, don't be telling students that. That didn't happen. I was in my head. But I was copied and the admissions counselor replied, oh, so then I got to see the answer to her question. And the answer was, yes, fill out this scholarship application. And so I was like, okay, let's go. And I clicked on the link because the admissions counselor shared the link in the email. And what blessed me so much, you all, are you leaning in? Because this is a good story and it's true, is that on that scholarship application was a deadline, and that deadline had passed. The admission counselor said, fill out this application, and yet the deadline had passed. That admission counselor opened up that application for that student, and she received a $3,000 scholarship. Before you, because even those thoughts come to my mind, but Dr. Candice, that was in, that wasn't in 2026. Da 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 da. And I know what's going on. And I know what I'm reading online, and I know what happened to my son last school year. And I know, where he's about to start, or he or she's about to start college in a few weeks. And we ask again. The seventh or the bonus habit that I've seen successful students and families do is they ask again. They ask and they ask again. They don't take no for the final answer. So I share that to say that ask and ask again. And this is blessing me right now in real time. And here's the thing. Maybe you do exactly what I shared with that student to do, to reach out to their admissions counselor. Because maybe you are the parent of a student who's about to start college in a couple weeks. Hey, me too. My daughter moves in. I haven't changed my calendar in my office yet, but she moves in August 20th. So I am that parent. She's going to start her second year in college August 20th, and she's getting things ready. And maybe you're that parent as well. You're like, but we already asked. Ask again. Because even in that asking, first of all, you're building that muscle, right, of getting out of that fear of, well, I'm not going to ask because I already know. We don't know what will happen on the other side of asking. And it may just be for you and your student to build that muscle of learning how to communicate and ask for what they need. That's a win. That's a win 100%. Because guess what? This is not going to be the only time that they need something. I'm talking to somebody right now. This is not going to be the only time that they need something. They're going to have to learn how to speak up and ask for what they need. You're going to have to learn how to speak up and ask for what you need and get over that fear of, well, what would they think? Or what if they say no? I'm talking good to myself. And I thought I was coming on here just to bless y'all with these notes. Okay. I know we were going to go 40 minutes. I thought I was going to be 10 minutes long. Obviously, I'm a long form content girl. Okay. And we have a comment. Come on, Shandy. That's it, sis. That's it. Shandy just said, text my son and reach out. It doesn't hurt to reach out, because here's the thing I've learned. And Shandy, you let me know if you can attest to this. When you found, okay, I'm going to ask him to send an email. I'm going to make the phone call. Even if you thought, you know what, I'm going to think the best and this is the outcome I want. Can you say that even you working up the nerve to ask was a really good outcome? Would you say that whatever answer you received helped you with your next step? Because maybe it was a no, but then it was like, okay, that was a no, but now I know my next step. Or perhaps the response you got, they said no, but call so-and-so. I saw that happen with my own daughter. Some of you all know, which was awesome. She had an amazing, amazing opportunity to go to London this summer. And she was emailing, asking questions about scholarship opportunities. And actually, we were both emailing. I have to get my tissue. And one email led to us finding out about something we didn't know about. Led us to send an email to someone that we didn't know we could. Led to us finding out about a process that we didn't know was ongoing and not just one time a year. I'm like, we got so much gold, even though it wasn't the exact outcome that we believed for, we got so much more. So ask and ask again. You never know. Why do we talk ourselves out of things? Why do we tell ourselves no? Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Why do we settle? Why do we say, okay, they told me no, so that's it? Right? It makes me think about the story in scripture where, it was an older lady who just kept begging and begging and begging. And finally the judge was like, okay, you're getting on my nerves. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, but she got what she needed. Ask and ask again. And that, again, I think for me, it's not just the outcome that I'm expecting, but what is happening in me, what's happening in our students, building that confidence of learning how to ask for what they need and ask again. Sending that appeal, right? The worst is no, but the best is you learning how to ask and get out of being uncomfortable. You know, or you may not ever get over the being uncomfortable, but it's like, you know what, I'm gonna ask. And here we go. And then you feel so much better after you just finally do it. Okay. And that was the bonus habit. So I just shared 6 habits that I have observed in students and families over the years that have helped them navigate the college admission and financial aid process with confidence, with clarity and grace. Not without challenges, but they go back to these things and they continue on because they have a goal in mind, right? So real quick, I'll share them all out loud. They show up, they ask questions no matter what, they connect with their person, their team. Number 4, and these are really not in any order. Number 4, they state their goals. Number 5, they stay organized. Number 6, they understand the financial aid process before applying. And the bonus, number 7, was they ask and they ask again. I've seen such beautiful fruit, right? This is the fruit. This is the fruit. And it's been so, 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 so good. So happy college application season. Happy back to school season. It's going to be really, really good, really good. And so I pray that these habits I've shared, that you're walking them out. You're encouraging your student to walk them out. And I want to share how your student and your family can continue to be successful by connecting with their person. And perhaps I can be that coach for your student, for your family. And so I am hosting, well, first thing I want to tell you about a resource that I have. And I am going to put it up so you have it in front of you. So I've created a college planning toolkit. So it's a digital resource that you download from my website. And I'll put the link to it in the comments so you can get it easily. And so this is a timeline for students and families. This is the timeline, and it features actually starting with the 8th grade. So if you know of a middle school family, high school family that can utilize this resource, then please, please, please encourage them to grab it. And so I think the link that I put in the comments is only showing up on my Vision Speak Consulting Facebook page and my YouTube Facebook page, but you can go to my store on visionspeakconsulting.com and get it. It is at the very top on my store link. So I'll put that in the comments as well, or visionspeakconsulting.com. So College Planning Toolkit features a timeline. So basically what students and families can be doing each year leading up to August of their freshman year of college to move through the process. I meet a lot of families and they're like, I don't even know where to start. So this is a great place to start, and it gives you your next steps moving through each season of 8th grade all the way to August of freshman year of college, which is amazing to think about, right? It also features some resource links, so some helpful websites that I've shared with students and families over the years. It's been curated so that it can be a help in terms of organization. And then lastly, my favorite part of the toolkit is links to scholarships that I know that students have won. Even my own daughter. So check out the College Planning Toolkit. It's only $14.99, and you can grab that. Use the link in the comments or go directly to my website to grab it. Current college students, here's my tip. Apply for scholarships even as a current college student. It doesn't end the first year. You can still get scholarships your second year, your third year, your fourth year, even in your graduate school. So don't stop applying. Keep at it. Keep that spreadsheet, mom. Keep that spreadsheet, dad. Keep that spreadsheet, student. Okay? Don't stop applying. A lot of scholarships can be renewable. So there's that. So I have that as a resource. So check out the College Planning Toolkit. Again, you can get that on my website. It's only $14.99, and it'll be a great resource for your student and maybe a student that you know, so share that with them. The other resource I want to share is going to be something that's coming up at the end of August, and I'm so excited about offering that to you all. So I'm going to go and put up the information about that now. So today kicks off college application season, and so I'm hosting the College Application Accelerator for my seniors. Shout out to the class of 2027, and it's going to kick off August 31st, and that's on a Monday evening. We'll start at 6:30 p.m. and go until 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So no matter where you are in the world, you can grab a hold of this accelerator. We'll record the session, so in case you have to miss a session, you can get this good information. But I'll be walking students through their Common App application, their other college applications, helping them draft their personal statement, which can not only be used for college admission, but for scholarships. Okay, a lot of scholarship organizations are asking for a personal statement, and you can a lot of times use the same one that you have written for your admission application. Isn't that so cool? That is so cool. There's so many thoughts I have to that. But the college application accelerator for seniors, for high school seniors, kicks off August 31st. We'll meet online together that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We won't meet Friday. And then Saturday, the 5th, September 5th, is complimentary. It's office hours. So you can come in on the Zoom between like 10 a.m. and 11:15 and get questions answered. If you want me to review your application, I can do that, but that'll be our work session slash, okay, I'm gonna call it co-working. It'll be our co-working slash office hours time together. And so registration is already open, so you can go ahead and get in this class. I'm going to cap the accelerator to 20 students. And so get in and encourage your student to join, or maybe you know a student who could really use this help, just 1 week of time and really just 2 hours each night. And then the office hours on that Saturday to leave with a completed or substantially completed Common App, to leave with a strong draft of their personal statement. And I didn't say this because I would be remiss to not talk about financial aid and scholarships, and leave with their scholarship action plan. They're going to leave with their next step. They're going to leave confident and clear on the college application and financial aid process. Let's go. So let me put the link to that in the comments as well. This application accelerator is $297. I do offer Klarna and Afterpay, and I believe you can use Affirm on my website as well if you need a payment plan. So definitely want to make this accessible and affordable for families. So I'm dropping the link there, or you can go to my website directly and click on the Let's Connect tab, and you can get that information, or you can always message me. I'm easy to find, and you can get that link directly. But that is the College Application Accelerator for seniors. Yay! And it's not just for students in Louisville, Kentucky. That's why I'm excited about offering it online, because students from all over the United States can join in and be a part of this accelerator, which will be so cool, because I know the power of students coming together, students who are focused on the same goal, right? And they are encouraging one another. It just builds a beautiful community, and I get to help steward that. And I'll have I have some great friends who work in the college admission and financial aid space as well. So I'll have them on to serve as an expert too. So that's going to be such a good time. I may even see if my daughter can join in and give some good advice to students about the process, because she's done it. She's doing it. She's going into her second year of college, and that blows my mind. So mom, dad, I get it. I get it. So I would love for your student to be a part of the College Application Accelerator. Again, they're going to leave with a completed or substantially completed Common App. They're going to leave with a strong draft to their personal statement / essay they can use for scholarships as well. They're going to leave with their scholarship strategy plan. Like, let's go. Let's get this money. Let's make these money moves for college. It's going to be so good. So again, I've put the link in the chat so you can click it directly. And I'm going to keep the cohort at 20 students. And I want your student to be a part. So if you're watching this and you know, perhaps your student is not a senior yet, or maybe Shandy, like they're about to go to college, but you know of some families that could utilize this. What I know here, not just in Louisville, Kentucky, but across the United States, is that the capacity for our school counselors, they desire to be able to do something like this and meet one-on-one with students or meet in small groups. And some of them are able to do that. But for a lot of our school counselors, our students at our public high schools, and even some of our private high schools, their school counselors don't have that capacity. So I want to be of help to that and provide this intimate space for students to get this work done. Like, you have to set aside the time to do that. And a lot of times that can't happen during the school day. We wish it could. You may be able to do a little bit during the school day, but a lot of the work to this happens in the evening time. And then students navigating their jobs or after school activities. I get it. And so with that being said, if this time frame doesn't work for your students, send me an email and let's talk about how I can be of service, perhaps in another way. Okay. Or if not me, listen, I just had a beautiful conversation with a awesome man yesterday. Him and his wife own a college planning business. And so perhaps they can be the one to help. And I have other friends that work in this space that can be of help. And maybe you can connect better with them than what I have to offer. Yeah. I got connections, y'all. So I want to get you to your person and I can help do that. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are amazing. So I shared 2 resources. I'm going to put the other banner up right now. Is I have a college planning toolkit, and actually starting for families in middle school. This would be a great toolkit resource. Timeline is featured starting from 8th grade all the way up until first semester of a student's college career, August of a student's college career. So it gives you step by step on things that students and families can do to be successful in this process. It also features resource links that can help with organization. And then I feature some scholarship links that people that I know of have actually been awarded these scholarships. And even if you're not a senior, you can at least see what the requirements are and get ready, get prepared. So that's one resource on my website in my store. You can see the links in the comments, and that's $14.99. And then for my seniors class of 2028, I am hosting the College Application Accelerator starting this month, August 31st through September 3rd. So that's a Monday through Thursday. We won't meet on that Friday, but then I have a complimentary co-working / office hour session on that Saturday. And the total cost for this accelerator for seniors is $297. And I do have, you can pay in full, which is awesome. And then I also have access, or you can have access to Klarna Afterpay. And I believe you can use Affirm on my website as well. Google Pay, I think, and Apple Pay, all the ways, right? To pay if that is a need that you have. So good. I appreciate you all being here and rocking with me. Share this video. If you're watching the replay, please put #replay. And as questions come, send me an email. Okay, send me an email or send me a direct message. Let me put my email in the comments. It's visionspeakconsulting@gmail.com. I'm still an email girl, so I will respond back, okay? I will respond back to your message in your email and let me know how I can best support you. And let me know which of the habits resonated with you the most. Which one of the habits are you taking action on? Successful families, students and families show up. They ask questions no matter what. They connect with their person, their team. They state their goals. They stay organized. They understand the financial aid process before applying. And they ask and they ask again. They ask and they ask again. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. I believe that this school year, this 2026-2027 school year is going to be the best one yet. It's going to be the best school year yet. And we get to partner and participate in ensuring that it is. I'm proud of you, students. I'm proud of you, parent. I applaud you for how you show up for yourself, for your student. Thank you. We're all much better for it. All right, y'all. I hope you have a great rest of your marvelous Saturday. Happy August. It's a good one. It's a regal one. All right. Bye.